So, you're building something incredible, right? You're getting users, maybe you're even seeing some revenue start to trickle in. You've got real, actual progress. You've got traction. But then when you go talk to investors, it's just crickets. It's gotta be one of the most frustrating things for a founder. Today, we're gonna dig into why your growth might not be getting the attention it deserves, and more importantly, how you can fix that.
Does this feel familiar? If this question hits home, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You've put in all the work, the numbers are finally moving up and to the right, but it feels like you're shouting into a void? Well, here's the good news. The problem probably isn't your progress. It's all about how you're communicating it.
And right here, this is the core of the disconnect. For you, hitting a huge milestone, let's say $10,000 in monthly recurring revenue, that's everything. It's proof the dream is real. But an investor? You gotta remember, they see dozens of pitches a week. Without any context, your amazing number is just, well, it's just another data point, lost in a sea of other startups.
This brings us to what we can call the traction paradox. And the truth is, it's not really about what you've done in the past. It's about what your progress proves is possible for the future. Your numbers, they need to do more than just exist on a slide. They have to tell a compelling story.
This quote really gets to the heart of it all. A number on its own is just a stat. What makes it powerful, what makes it investable, is the meaning it represents. Investors aren't just looking at your dashboard, they are digging, searching for what that data truly signifies. So, the most crucial takeaway is this. Your traction has to be a signal. It's got to be undeniable proof that your small win today is just the beginning of a massive victory tomorrow. It's your job to connect those dots for them.
You know, your traction can speak a bunch of different languages. It can signal that you're learning and building way faster than anyone else. It can prove that there's this huge, untapped market demand just waiting. Or maybe it shows you have a laser-like strategic focus. The key is to figure out which story your numbers are telling, because that's the starting point for your whole narrative.
Okay, so how do you actually do this? How do you turn that raw data into a story that grabs people? Well, it all starts with reframing your early wins, not as destinations you've arrived at, but as proof of your direction.
And honestly, this should be a huge relief if you're just starting out. You don't need these giant flashy numbers. What investors really want to feel is momentum. And momentum isn't always about massive scale. It's about clarity. It's proof that you know it's working and, more importantly, why it's working.
Let me put it this way. What do you think is a more powerful signal? 100 users who signed up once and then, poof, they never came back? Or just 10 users who are so deeply engaged, they'd be absolutely devastated if your product disappeared tomorrow? That passion, that kind of love, that's the signal that you found something very, very real.
All right, now for the practical part. How do you actually build this story? It's time to stop just listing your accomplishments and start wrapping them in a narrative of learning and getting better. It's time to craft your story.
Just look at the power of this. You don't just say, hey, we hit the 1,000 users. No. You say, we hit the 1,000 users because we tested this new campaign. And you know what? That taught us our real customers are this specific group. So now, we are focusing all of our resources right there. See the difference? You just turned a boring, static number into a dynamic, intelligent roadmap.
And that right there is the difference between something that looks like luck and something that looks like a system. A one-time growth spike is nice, sure, but it could just be a fluke. But growth that comes from an intentional, repeatable process, that shows you're actually building a machine. And investors, they want to back founders who can build machines that scale. Let's take this idea and kick it up a notch. Your traction can be way more than just proof of growth. It can actually be your earliest and most powerful competitive advantage. It can be your moat. Smart investors are always asking themselves this question. Why is this particular startup taking off right now? If you can connect your traction to a bigger market shift, like a new technology or a cultural trend, you give it incredible weight. You're not just another good idea, you're the right idea at the perfect time. This is where your traction becomes a real defense. If you can prove you're building a feedback loop, where every new user literally makes the product smarter and better for the next user, you're not just growing, you're accelerating. You're creating this moat of momentum that your competitors will find almost impossible to cross.
All right, so you've got the numbers, you've got the narrative, and you've got your moat. Now for the final crucial step. How do you translate all of that into real excitement? How do you make an investor physically lean forward in their chair and feel a genuine sense of urgency?
We've all seen them a million times, right? That classic up and to the right hockey stick graph.
And yeah, sure, it looks good. It's clean, it's tidy.
But it doesn't hit you in the gut like this does. This quote makes everything real. It translates all your abstract data into tangible human value. It tells a story that sticks with you, a story an investor can go and repeat to their partners. It creates a real emotional connection.
And you always have to bring it back to this. Show them that your progress isn't just something happening to you. It's actively guiding your decisions. When you show that you're making smarter choices because of what you're learning from your traction, you signal that you're not just a builder, you're a strategic founder.
This, right here, is the ultimate power shift. When you frame your traction this way, the entire tone of the conversation changes. You're no longer in a position of asking for money to get started. Instead, you're demonstrating that the train is already leaving the station, full speed ahead, and you're offering them a ticket to get on board.
So as you think about your own startup, ask yourself this simple question. When you talk about your progress, are you just showing them a photo album of the past, or are you handing them a detailed, evidence-backed roadmap to the future? Because that difference, well, that's everything.